just more about the league now, and what's kind of the interest you guys have received with, especially with the season starting in just about a month here in the county. What's kind of the interest been like for kids signing up, and what's kind of the feedback you've gotten from any parents or anybody in the community so far?
Yeah, so I started off with my marketing approach, reaching out to Chatham County, forget the PIO there, the public information officer. So I reached out there just to see what avenues, what opportunities for getting the word out, because with our league, it's not something that's geared. How do I say this? It's a sport. So you really have to go through the proper channels to make sure that you're approved, from that perspective. And we did that and got approved, and we sent out our flyer. One of our flyers is here in the back room. We sent out one of our flyers through Peach Jar to parents. I wasn't familiar with Peach Jar, but obviously that's some type of channel that's used to get information out to parents. And so we've received some really good feedback. I've called all of the elementary schools and middle schools and all of the high schools in Chatham County, all of them, just to tell them about who we are and what we're doing. And just the feedback has been really, really, really strong and really positive, and people are excited about it. The feedback I've gotten is, wow, there's nothing here like that. That's amazing. We're so looking forward to that. And so I know that the excitement is there. I know that the desire is there. It's just a matter of continuing to get the word out. Right now we have about 25 signed up with about a month left to go in the season. So we're really trying to we need to really make a push over here the next couple of weeks for more kids to sign up to join our league, so that we can have an enjoyable season. Because if you don't have the kids, you can't form the teams and you can't form the league. So we're really making an effort to push for sign-ups right now through marketing and getting the word out throughout in our community.
Gotcha.
All right, we started talking about the marketing and the planning behind this. Let me just ask you a simple question. I think we all three of us know what flag football is, but for somebody who doesn't know what flag football, you look at that picture up there, there's a guy jumping. What kind of equipment do kids need for flag football?
Right. They need very little equipment. All you really need is a jersey, some pocketless, let me emphasize that, pocketless shorts, because we don't want any injuries as a result of having the pockets. A pair of cleats. A lot of kids in this area play soccer, so they already have those cleats. So you need cleats, and then just the flag belt. And we supply the jersey, we supply the flag, and we supply the footballs. So that's all you need to participate. So it's a really easy sport to sort of get involved in.
I'm asking simple questions. When you say flag, what are we talking about? How big of a flag? You mentioned a flag belt.
Yeah.
What is it?
So all it really is, the flag belt just really buckles around your waist, and you have the flag just inserts into the flag buckle itself, and when it gets pulled off, it just makes a sound, a little pop sound, and it pops off, and you just put it back in. That's all it really is. So flag football is a very simple game. Our league will be 5-on-5. Just some of the.
And how many kids do you have?
We got about 25 signed up right now.
Okay, but you personally have 5 kids.
Oh, I have 5 kids.
So you got a team right there.
Right. Yes. Yeah. So we'd have a 2-year-old out there. I don't know if we can get him to pull a flag or not, but maybe he might try to tackle someone first.
Right. And you and Asheebo were talking about tackling in the first segment of this. One of the things you're emphasizing is you're not necessarily tagging. You're going after that flag on that belt.
Exactly. You're going after the flag on the belt, and again, I don't want kids just to come out and just grab a flag. I want to teach fundamentals so that just in case a kid later wants to play some tackle football, they'll already have, hey, this is the proper way that you go in to make a tackle. And it's very similar to how you're going to go and grab your flag. Having your shoulders over your toes, you're going to have a good base. You're not going to be standing up straight. You're going to have a good base, and you're going to reach with both hands. And that's essentially, in a nutshell, how you make a tackle.
All right, you finished up the last segment talking about girls playing flag football, and that's a growing sport. What do you tell a mom that has a daughter, and the daughter says, I want to play flag football? And you know there's going to be some moms that are like, I don't know. What do you tell that kind of a mom?
Well, I just tell mom, I say, hey mom, it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to instill confidence in your daughter. And it's going to be a huge confidence, again, a huge confidence builder for her. It's a non-contact sport, so we're not out there, you're not even allowed to, put your hands up and try to block someone. You really have to, no hands involved in blocking. We're not out there press coverage, zero blitz, anything like that. It's flag football, and now obviously there is going to be some contact because you have kids running around, and that's inevitable. That's part of the fun. That's part of the game, but it's not meant to be. We're not out there running into each other, and all of those different things that you see at the NFL level.
Is it going to be co-ed teams, or is it going to be girls teams and boys teams?
It is going to be co-ed teams. My vision is to someday have an all-girls league, but just because we're at inception of our league, we have to make it co-ed, just so that we have the appropriate numbers.
Okay, you mentioned your 2-year-old's not playing in this league. What are the age group for playing?
Yeah, the ages are ages 4 to 17. I opened it up to that 15 to 17 age group because I really wanted girls at the high school level to be involved and have an opportunity to participate.
All right. Now Asheebo played in high school, and he was good enough to go and play in college, but he opted to go to UNC for journalism school. I asked him, and people who've watched us before know what his favorite moments were back in high school. So why don't we start with because you have a love for this. I mean, you can just tell from you and Asheebo going for it. We could be talking for hours, but his wife's coming in about 20 minutes, so it's not going to go for hours. What's your best memory from high school football?
My best memory from high school football is, and I grew up in Virginia, probably just a couple hours from here, and my junior year at William Kim High School, we won our first school state championship in football, and first team state championship in any sport. We won 14-0, and that was just an incredible feeling, just to go undefeated and to accomplish our goal. The year before, we had lost in the regional championship game by 2 points. And if we had won that game, we probably would have won another state championship. But we fell short, and just all that off season, I remember praying to God. I was like, God, please help us to win a state championship. Whether God is involved in the outcome of sports or not, I don't know. But
I was going to say, we can get into this whole discussion about whether God has a favorite football team, but we're not going there today.
But that was probably one of my favorite moments because our whole team was committed to the weight room in the off season, and we worked super hard. So it made it all that much more sweeter not because we just won, because the work that it took to get there and then to finally accomplish your goal, that's what was so great about it.
All right. What was your favorite college football memory?
Well, I played football at the University of Virginia, so I know where I live right now.
Oh, no, that's fine. There's some Virginia fans in Chatham County. Not too many, but there are some.
There are some. I've seen some Virginia license plates with our UVA swords on them and all that good stuff. But favorite moment probably. We weren't that good when I was there, so.
Is that your fault?
Well, I was on the team, so it's a team sport.
What years did you play?
We were good a few years I was there, a couple of down years, but I was there from 2004 to 2009.
All right. And your favorite memory?
Favorite memory has to be 2005. I think it was either a Thursday night game or a Saturday night game. It was the 10-year anniversary of UVA, the 95 UVA football team, ending the crazy long streak of Florida State's ACC wins that year. 95 UVA stopped Ward down on the 1 yard line. So it was the anniversary of that game, and we ended up winning that game that night against Florida State, and everyone stormed the field. I think Florida State was ranked like number 4 in the country. It was just a really cool feeling. It was a huge win for our program.
Favorite NFL memory?
Favorite NFL memory? Probably 2015, I think it was. 2015, we started the season 8-0, and it was great. It was a great time to be a Cincinnati Bengal. Unfortunately, we ended the season with a loss in the playoffs in the first round once again. So, but the first 8 games of the season, I mean, were amazing, and the city was buzzing. It was cool. It was a great time to be a Bengal. That's probably one of my favorite moments.
They're known for the end zone fans, the Bengals.
I think that's more like the Cleveland Browns.
I've
been there, and
the dog pound.
The dog pound.
So yeah. Cleveland, Cincinnati.
I've witnessed that, standing in the end zone, catching kickoffs in pregame, and just having the fans say things about your mom, about your family, and all kinds of things that we can't obviously repeat in this session.
Yeah. All right, you mentioned you grew up in Virginia, and I'm gonna. This question is for Asheebo as well. You mentioned playing video games.
Yes.
What was your favorite video game to play?
Favorite video game was probably NCAA or Madden. Those were the 2 really prominent games when I was playing. When I was
the same for you.
Yep, NCAA. Well, 14 was the last one. I was about 12 years old.
Okay.
Yep, and then so I got 25. Still playing it now. So yeah, NCAA was definitely like my number 1 sports video game.
All right, question for both of you: Which player did you play the most as in those video games?
I would say I can go back to about NCAA 09. I think I remember. I was a big West Virginia fan because of Geno Smith.
Okay.
Of course, Pat White before him. Tavon Austin. Those teams. So I would play with them all the time. And then probably around 13, when Jameis Winston was at Florida State. Of course, I was a fan of them as well, jumping around when I was little. But those 2 teams right there are probably my favorites to play with.
Yeah, when I would play the Madden, I would typically be a Dallas Cowboys, and I'm a lot older than Asheebo is. I'll be the Dallas Cowboys, and I would stack my teams with different players because you could do like you could trade players and do all those things in those games. So I would pick up the best players and stack my team. But I really loved Emmitt Smith growing up, being a Cowboys fan. So I was always emulating in the backyard or something like that. And then playing the video games, obviously.
When you were playing as a pro, did you play up against? Did you get the chance to play against Dallas a bunch?
We played Dallas at least 2 times that I know of, that I can recall. So.
And what was it like? You playing a video game and then you're in there playing against them live?
Oh wow, it was so surreal. Just seeing that star, and then just going to the actual Dallas Cowboys stadium that you dreamed about as a kid. So it was truly a dream come true type of thing to be able to play against the Cowboys.
Again, are you going to be playing at the Northwood Field here?
Pending, yes.
Okay, let's just assume. And look,
yes.
David Ham, you're on the school board. Let's get some football in there, because I know David Ham is a fan, and he would definitely advocate for that. You got that big field, but you got kids. Are you playing half field, and how are you structuring that?
So a flag football field, it can range between 25 to 30 yards wide, and I think that's what we'll do, about 25 yards. And the field length will be 64 yards, including the end zones, probably 5-yard end zones. So that's the dimensions of the field. And then you'll have a couple of the rules. You'll have no run zones at midfield, and then 5 yards away from the end zone, you'll have another no run zone, so that we don't get power I formations and try to, slam it up in or you don't get the tush push and things like that.
No, I'm not going to ask what the tush push is. If you don't know, find out for yourself. Google it. All right, you mentioned that you're planning to have 1 hour practice and then a game. Is that this taking place on Saturday?
Yes, all of that will be on Saturday.
All right, how are you going to fit, how many teams and how are you going to fit that time-wise onto the Northwood field on a Saturday?
Yeah, so on Saturdays and that's what my target was, to try to get it at have our leagues at high schools, because typically fields around here in Chatham County and in Chapel Hill, there's a short. Soccer has those fields a lot. So the high schools typically aren't doing too much on Saturdays. So that's what I've been told. So it's now during football season, we'll move probably to the soccer field to conduct our league, because the Chatham Chargers will have that.
Okay. Well, I was going to say Chatham Park does have a commitment to Pittsboro for some sports fields, so maybe you can get a plug in for some football fields.
That would be great.
This is a question that Asheebo and I, there's a preseason football media day, and I think we asked all the coaches the question, why do you coach? So I'm going to ask you that question. Why do you coach?
That's a great question. I coach because, I played, and so I saw the impact that a coach could have. During a season, a coach spends more time with players, probably more than anyone else in their lives. And so a coach can have a significant impact. And I've seen in my own life the impact that coaches have had on me, and just relationships. I still have a great relationship with my high school football coach, and that was over 20 years ago. But still text him to this day, still ask him his advice on different football things. And even my college football coach, Al Groh, has been very instrumental in my life, and asking him advice just on getting into coaching and at what level, what can I expect, because he coached at every level. Just having that in your life has just, for me, has just been great. So that's why I coach. I coach because of the impact that I can make, and not the impact. I'm not talking about the impact as far as the player, but the impact on that player's life, because a coach gets access at some point into a player's life outside of the sport itself, and that's where, let's face it, that's where you can make the biggest impact. So that's kind of the reason in a nutshell as to why I coach.
Talked about life lessons and impacts. What life lessons have you learned from football? The ones that really stuck with you?
Yeah, a huge turning point in my life was I was at the University of Virginia in 2007, and I was having this great time in my football playing career. I was leading the ACC in rushing. All of my hard work was kind of paying off. Was having a great season, and in the 6th game of the year, I had a devastating injury that I did not think that I was going to ever be able to play football. Again, it was a Liz Frank injury, which is basically I dislocated my foot. Never thought I'd come back and be the same, but through all of that adversity, all of that hard work, the rehab, the setbacks, everything, and then being able to come back and actually play, that was just a huge blessing from God, just to be able to do that. So football taught me that, just because you get knocked down, just because things don't go your way, it doesn't mean that you have to give up. It doesn't mean that it's over. Maybe you're supposed to get back up and try again. And so that's one of the turning points in my life. That's what I learned the most.
All right, I'm going to ask you this question because I'm a believer too. You mentioned God several times in the conversation with both Asheebo and I. What role does God play in your life?
A huge everything. Really, I try to, my faith and being a Christian, I take that everywhere with me. It's not just a Sunday thing of just going to church. It really is a lifestyle. I really see myself not as just a follower of Christ, but a disciple. And so I think there's a difference. A disciple is one who hears the commands of Jesus and does them, and that's what I try to do. And I'm not a person who tries to trust in me being a good person or anything like that. No, my hope is in Christ and His death on the cross and that alone. That's my only hope of knowing God and of being a child of God.
All right, I got one more question, and we're going to have to wrap it up because we got less than 5 minutes. What do people need to do to sign up? What's the cost? I know you mentioned the flag thing, and that's going to be my last question. After I ask the question, I'm going to check if your wife's waiting for us, and then you can finish up with whatever you need to finish up with.
Yeah, so flagfootballelite.org is our website where parents can go, and we're also looking for referees as well to sign up, and those are we pay our refs in our league, and also parents can go to sign up to be coaches as well. And as a coach, you will be required to complete a background check. So again, flagfootballelite.org to register. We do have some yard signs and things of that nature throughout. Maybe you'll see those, and you'll see this NFL flag logo here. If there's anything that represents our league, that'll be us in the surrounding area. So you can go there. We do have some flyers up at Northwood High School and the basketball arena. If you come to the basketball game, you can scan the QR code. I'm not sure if that QR code back here, if they can see that, if that'll work in the video. I'm not sure if that will work.
Is that on your website?
Once they go to the website, they'll see everything.
Okay, because what I may do is I may just add the QR code to the end of this video so that folks can just scan it.
They can just scan that, and it'll take them directly to our website. And all of our information is on the website. If info@flagfootballelite.org is our email address that they can reach us at 24/7, anytime. I'm always up because I have kids.
Volunteer. If somebody wants to be a volunteer coach, what do they need to do?
So to be a volunteer coach, just again the same website, and there will be a link for you or a tab for you to click on to register to be a coach. Again, you'll be required to complete a background check. That's at no cost to you. We take care of that cost. And once you're approved, once we start formulating the teams, we'll assign that coach to a team. And also, parents, if they have a friend that their kid wants to play with, there'll be information for you to put that type of stuff down. And we'll do our best once it comes time to form teams to get those two buddies together, because again, that's a part of the fun aspect of it, playing with your pal that you're used to playing with in the backyard or wherever that you're friends with. And then if you want to coach, a parent wants to coach, obviously they'll be on the same team as their son or daughter, so they'll have the opportunity to coach their own kid. And we also welcome if you want to form your own team. Just email us at info@flagfootballelite.org, and we'll make sure that gets set up for you, and if you want to bring your own team. And there's a max of 10 players per team. Max of 10 players per team.
All right, and February 22nd is when you first start up, so when's the last day for somebody to sign up?
The last registration closes for our Chatham early spring, February 12th.
Okay. Asheebo, you got some more questions to finish up?
Just one final one, just also about the league. How many teams do you guys kind of are shooting for per age group?
Right.
And is there any opportunity for the teams maybe to go outside of Chatham later on, maybe at the end of the season, maybe compete against other NFL sponsored flag football leagues?
Yes. So to answer that last question, so we do plan on participating in NFL flag sanctioned events. So there's one coming up, I think this summer in Atlanta, that we plan on taking a group. So if parents are interested in that, they can reach out to us, and we can connect with them with how to get registered for that as well. The cost of our league is $165. Again, you get a flag belt, you get a jersey, and then we also have the option for you to purchase socks, sleeves, headbands, and other gear on our store at, I think you get a 15% discount in order to do that. And I also want to mention that we have scholarships available as well. The NFL has set aside money for those who might think that, oh, maybe 165, that's not in my budget, or I really, I can't afford to do that right now. We do have that available. So again, reach out to us at info@flagfootballelite.org, and we can help with that process as well. This league is for everyone, and we want to make it available for everyone. And we're also a nonprofit, so we're looking for sponsors as well to help sponsor, to help mitigate some of the costs. Again, I see this as a long-term type of deal, not just a one-year thing we're done. A long-term thing that I'm trying to grow and develop, and hopefully by the end of this, maybe one day we'll sit down and do an interview, and we'll be talking about, hey, our league is producing some of the best flag football players in the state of North Carolina. Our schools in Chatham County, our football teams are producing some of the best football players in the state of North Carolina. That's kind of my vision and my goal for this league. So a lot of people might be saying, whoa, that's some huge aspirations that you have. Well, I believe God can do anything. Nothing is impossible without him. So that's what I believe. That's what the vision God's given my wife and I. And I have to give props to her, because without this, she's the one who came up with this idea. So
You're just saying that because she's sitting outside the door waiting for us to finish up.
Well, whether she is or whether she's not, that's debatable. But if she is, I still give her props on, just instilling this in me and helping get this off the ground, because she's truly the one that's gotten this off the ground and gotten this started. So hopefully, in the future, we're sitting down and talking about how great this league is and what it's done, the impact it's made on our community.
All right, you don't have to answer this question. When and where did you ask her to get married?
So I asked her to get married. This was in a place called Columbia, Tusculum, and it's a small community in Cincinnati, Ohio, and it was actually on the balcony at sunset of one of my teammates' places that he was renting out. So I had dinner set up and real nice, and it was at sunset and beautiful time of the year. And that's when I asked her, and she said yes.
She said yes. All right. She said yes. Folks, with that, we got to finish up because the young lady in question sitting right outside, she's got to get over to work, so he's got to take care of the kids. Thanks for watching. Again, flagfootballelite.org. Go to the website, check out all the information, and this man is out there to ask questions. February 12th is the last day to sign up. Is that right?
Yes, for the Chatham Early Spring.
For the Chatham Early Spring. Hey, folks, thank you very much, and we'll see y'all later.